Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. I'm about to do something nice for you. I'm about to give you some information that will serve you well. Trust me on that one. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give you life lessons from the tree of life. This time it's gonna be a good one for you. Sit back, enjoy, appreciate you. The numbers, you tune in to receive it. Numbers looking good. I appreciate you. Let's get started. Right Thinker's mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. So far, so good. You're starting to catch on to this thing. I'm starting to like what I see in the numbers and the views and the comments. Appreciate you. Thank you. Let's do this. Right Thinker's way of life. And that's what it is. Through mental and spiritual discipline, daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of obtaining spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. So tune in. I can help you do just that. That's what I do for you. I'm here every day to do just that, for you to know thyself. So I ask the question, do you know you? And if it's rhetorical. If you don't have to answer you for yourself, that's okay too. And I'm gonna help you with that too. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. Trust me. A person who knows and knows not that they know is just spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and always to Mayat be true. Again, come on, Mayat. Those represent scales, balance, and it should always be equal. I hate when I see that. No, man, it's balanced now and not raising the roof. No, I remember I seen people doing Mayat. But no, it's my respect where I praise, show respect to my goddess of choice. You can pick anyone you want. Like my man Sadi Guru said, you can make anything you want a god. How you worship and how you show respect is what makes the difference. And that's what would be recognized by him. So whatever you portray to God in his physical form, no problem. Okay, but it's the things you do to make it worthwhile. Now, let's get into it. I like to have some fun right now. Right thinkers, let's talk about the tree of life. On the left, I got the Anuian theology, tree of life. And on the right, you got the Kabbalah, the Jewish tree of life, aka the Kabbalah, spelled Cabbla or Kabbalah. Same difference, spelled different concepts. Understand? But we're gonna put them together. I'm gonna give a breakdown, which I know about my side. In the last lesson, I broke down the names, all that stuff, what it is. So I'm gonna put in comparison. You see, I know your theurgy. We start at the top is fire. That's Ra. At the bottom, you see it says Haru That's when the children of Nut was 5 in number, not 4. Why? Haru was born grown, so he's really the brother to Asar and Aset. When we tell the mythological story, we give him from childbirth to show the concept of what? Mother and son nurturing, the son being the widow's son. Mason sound familiar? Why? If your father is passed on, you're considered the widow's son. Haru followers, Shimsu, they call them, we the sons of the widow's son. Okay. Another lesson from Masonic concept. But let's go with this tree of life simple. Now, above I just showed you the two sides. In Anuian theology, you got theology, study of God's theology, the study of concepts, is the teaching from the Bhagavad Gita. That's the Indian considered their Bible, their scripture. And you got the Kabbalistic tree of life. This is theirs. There is a spiritual, again, understand this. Spirit means God. If it's spiritual, that means it's God conscious, it's God involvement. Your spiritual journey is a psycho spiritual journey, meaning it's up here, it's all mental. And when you have your psycho spiritual journey, it's what? A self discovering that every human being must undertake. Once you're born into the world, once you come out of your mother's womb, bam, you become a player of this game called life. Your best thing now, the goal is to what? Get knowledge of self so you can what? Go back home. Okay? We come out of the new, we want to go back to new. That's God, heaven concept. Okay? So in every human being has the right to do just that. When they made the independent declaration, all men are created equal. And that's what they mean. We all have the same spirit. Different skin tone, different whatever. But we all have the same skin tone. And guess what? Everybody's brain is the same size. Ain't nobody no bigger or smaller. It's what you do with it. And that thing we call the brain is the most sophisticated machinery ever known to man. And we still ain't figured it out why it don't come with instructions. Moving on. That's the concept. But with the tree of life, break it down right quick. They had a concept that they defined their way. It matched ours pretty much the same. And the name, the concept, no, we do anthropomorphic. So we're going to give you Ra with the falcon head, with the sun disk, and the Uranus. You got Shu, which represents air, space, ether, whatever you want to call it. He he wears the ostrich feather. He was one of the first kings after Ra, metaphorically and symbolically. But he started the line, the succession of kings and pharaohs from that aspect. After Ra, he sat on the throne. And you got his counterpart. He's the male aspect, air. She's dry, she's moist air. He's dry air. We breathe air. She's moist air. We have rain, moisture, condensation. That's what she represents. And she's also represented by what? She's the life force, aka water. Now, number 4 on the tree of life, coming down. See, we have ours labeled, and each one of them has a different headdress and a different function as one of God's natural, what they call a function from God. It's a principle and a concept. And with Ra, he's represented by what? Fire. That's the element, the sun. Shu is represented what? Air. He wears the ostrich feather also, one feather on his head. He also wore the crown of Upper and Lower Egypt, but on here you see him with the ostrich feather. And every god, every deity has their calling card by what? Their headdress. The next one you're going to see, which is Tufnut. She is the lioness, but she wears the sun disk on her head with the Uranus, representing the life force in water. Then you got Gad. Now, he wears a duck on his head. What the what? Yeah. If you understand the story, you will know that Gab is considered the great cackler. Why? Because the Parmenion egg was laid and he came out. That's when Earth was considered to be born, and Gab is represented by that. And they used the duck to show you that concept. They said when he laughed, the world had earthquakes. He considered in the Fantastic Four, he's Thing. He's a big brass kind of type of dude. Yeah, that's Gab. And his counterpart is Newt. She wears the cow horns, and she has a sun disk between her arms, and she have the vulture headdress. They revered the vulture because she's the ultimate mother. If she didn't have no food for her babies, she would chew off her leg and feed it to them. That's a mother. And she would take dead meat, carrion, which is rotten meat, take it, chew it up, and bring it back to life to feed to her young. She a bad girl. And she don't need a man to get impregnated. She used nature. Moving on. Another concept, and it's the concept that they knew that part about the vulture. They used it for that purpose. Why? It meant the ultimate mother and the ultimate woman. Everybody don't wear that headdress. Moot and Newt wears it. Now you got, that's the number 5. You got fire, Ra, air, Shu, moist air, life force, water, Tefnut. Number 3. 4 is Gab, the physical part of the earth. 5 is his counterpart, Newt. The story goes, when Gab and Newt was in love embrace, Ra said, man, Shu, handle that. So Shu, which is air, separate them. And when they separated, Gab was up in his hard penis. That's what we got the obelisk for. We got some lessons for that too. But that's what symbolized the obelisk, Gab's penis. We tell you it's a SARS because when he got cut into 14 pieces, they found everyone but one, but it really Gab's. Okay. Now, understanding the stories behind the God makes knowing them important to you. Why? You can imitate them. I can't imitate fire. I can't imitate air or water or the earth or heaven. I can imitate Asar, which is the sixth element, which is what? Six neutrons, six protons, six electrons come together. Spirit becomes matter. That's who Asar represents. And his counterpart is the Lady of Wisdom and Intuitive Knowledge, immortal, Asai, Aset. He gave birth from her to him. When you take spirit and intellect, your offspring would be Haru. That's us, the widow's son. Okay, the enlightened one. Watch this. So 8 is your boy. Okay, 8 is represents Set. That's the ego. And I hate when people call him Seth. He's Set. Set. I hear other people call a whole bunch of other names, but Set is the ego, and it represents edging God out. That's why. Okay? And it represents the ego. And that's what the ego means. It's a funny looking character, one of a kind. He's impotent. That means he can't reproduce. His wife is never that. She represents mortality. Meaning she's always around what? In death, because anything that's born going to die. So Enoch, you was born. They say you never died. I got some problem with that concept. Just one of the few, but I know conceptually that can't possibly happen. But they say it happened. Moving on. God can do anything. Moving on. And at the bottom of the pool, you'll see this Haru And what Haru is us after we master ourselves while here on earth. They would call it Christhood. But you see at the bottom down there, this guy here, he's dressed with all his regalia. I mean, he's Pharaoh of Upper and Lower Egypt. I mean, he has control over his lower, upper, and lower body. Okay, that's who you want to end up being. Haru. Haru, the baby Haru is you learning, you becoming to yourself. You got to take on that fight and what? Defeat your evil uncle, which is your ego within yourself. That's the story of Haru, Aset, and Asar. It's your life. You becoming what? Your best self. Master yourself. Now the Jews played the game. They first one is Ketha. On there, Ketha means that's the start. That's the top. For our Ra, they Ketha, and that means humility. Where's it at? Spirit and humility. The spirit part is right. Humility. Okay. Now number 2, Chokmah. Chokmah, it represents light. Knowledge. Okay, I ain't got a problem with that. The third one, Binah. That represents wisdom. Again, they using this to get knowledge and understanding of self that they can manifest for themselves to get what? Spiritually enlightened. They doing the same thing, climbing the tree of life. They just bring it a different way. So they got their names. Watch this. Now, number 4, you're down here with Chesed. That means what? Force, the force, excuse me. Chesed represents mercy. Okay, those are blessings that you receive if you what? Follow God's instructions. I'm gonna get to that one too. I can't wait till I get there. This is gonna be a good one. Watch this. But that's number 4. Number 5, almost there. Gubraha. That's what? Okay, that represents the force. Luke used the Gubraha. Yeah, I just used that earlier. But yeah, that's what it means. And it goes on, and that's 6. 6 is what? Tipperias, whatever it is that is. Okay, that represents intellect. I want that. I can go with that. Then you got 7, Netzach. Okay, he's right there. I saw him somewhere. Where you at, Netzach? I saw you. And these represent like body parts. Okay, here you go, Netzach. Me can represent the glory. Okay, Netzach represents victory for Christians. That's representing the victory over the evil one. Okay, the ego. I can go with that. Whatever. But y'all brought that devil into existence, so that's y'all deal. Then you got 8, hard, H-O-D. What that mean? I just saw it somewhere. Yeah, okay, yeah. Hard represents heart. Okay, sorry about that. And then you got no, heart represents the glory. And what's the next one? U side. Number 9. I'm getting there. I'm almost done. What that means? Okay, number 9. Oh, U side represents the heart. Heart represents the glory. Sorry about that. And Nazak represents victory. And then you got number 10, Malketh. That represents the physical body. That's their concept. And when you learn them and master them, just like ours, you what? It'll get you closer to God and get you what? Become spiritually enlightened. So where we at down here? What was that down here? Let's talk about it right quick. I went through mine. Let's go through the reading. In the Anuian theology, okay, the Bhagavad Gita, okay, the tree of life, there is a spiritual journey, aka cycle discovery, for every human who must undertake. Well, I did this already. Nope, I'm still going. So here you go. The journey of every person, human being, is of what? Self-discovery. Not to come in and live it up and have fun and become rich and famous. It's a journey to find yourself, aka know thyself. And this refers to what? The coming into self-awareness of one's own what? Divine essence. Religion is meant to do that for you, and if it's done correct, it will do that for you. I'm just showing you how the ancient Egyptians did it. Everybody got their way. Simple as that. If you make it to the top of the pyramid, I don't care how you got there. And whoever at the top ain't gonna care why. They know the work that you took to get there because everybody started. There's a whole bunch of us down here. There ain't many of us up top. They say it's lonely at the top. Why? The work you put in to get there, everybody ain't willing to do that. That's why. And once you define, understand your own divine essence, meaning you have your one-on-one with God, you have your awakening, you reach Nihas, whatever it is, your life should change and you will be devoted to who? God. I know mine did. I can't speak for everybody. That's what changed mine. Okay? And it wasn't about believing. Okay? As such, watch this. The mystic understanding is that that the spirit, God, and watch this, the physical world which we live in are not separate entities. The spirit is inside the body, that temple not made of human hands. God, we are God's creation, and what's inside of is Him. And we didn't create that. It's not made with hands. The temple's right here. That means God is up here. I got a nice lesson for you with the third eye and pineal gland. Everybody's starting to jump on the bandwagon now. It's okay. There's enough room. It's cool. Moving on. That's this. But now here comes the good part. When you think you're separate from God, that's why you get out of here. That's why they are indeed related. Why? Why? Because once you know thyself, remember that word thy? Know is man. Know thyself. Well, who the hell is thy? About to tell you right quick. Now, they are indeed related because creation is rooted in spirit. Nature is dealt by spirit. That's God's calling card. And so too is what? Every human being. It don't say so. Every. If you are born into this world, you're a human being, you're a spiritual being, having now a human experience. Before you get here, you're inside the womb, you're in the incubating state. And after the body physically dies, your spirit goes into the waiting because judgment day is coming to each and every one of us. And when you have it, the decision will be made then. You reincarnate or you go home. Now, when a human being comes into this knowledge of self, it is said what? That heaven has been discovered where? On earth. You can become heavenly state of mind by doing, living, and being while you're right here on earth. That's self-mastery. That's Nihas. That's Christ conscious, whatever you want to call it. But you can make it happen. That's the name of this spiritual game. If you're playing the game, the belief game, knock yourself out. But the spiritual game, indeed, this teaching is directly given, you ready? by the ancient Egyptian god, yeah, yours truly, Tahuti, in the injunction as above, so below. The Hermetic principles are what he set forth, which is by nature, not man, God. This is a similar, write me down, this phrase, as above, so below, is similar to the statement, and this is for all my Christian followers. Yeah, we're number one, okay, but it's similar to the statement in the Christian Bible and what it says that attribute to Jesus. Another story, but we're going to go with this one. Why? I'm going to use it as a point. Jesus said, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. How the hell he know what thy will is? And who is thy? I told you. His father. He know. He had the concept. He put it to you the best way he could. I ain't got a problem with that. Problem with the existence. Sorry about that. I couldn't. You know, when you tell somebody before you tell them no disrespect, and then you start disrespecting them, that's kind of like that concept. I'm using that as a teaching tool, so I'm not here to go against it or contradict it. I'm just using it as a teaching tool. I know that y'all will understand it. But I use it as a point. Know thyself. Know thyself. Thy will be done on earth as is in heaven. Come on now. That's my man, Brother Sharp. Come on, somebody. Start thinking, start believing, and you get to know. Why? If you think and start understanding, you obtain knowledge. You can't have knowledge on just believing. Where we at? Now, and similar to the statement attributed to Jesus, thy will be done as it is on earth and heaven. Now, in the Anuyan theology tree of life, we got nothing to do with that. The journey of spiritual evolution, it begins with at the principle denoted by what? Number 10. That's at the bottom. Okay. And it leads to what? The number 1. The Supreme Spirit, they considered that, everybody knows that, to be what? The Supreme Spirit. Each principle on the tree of life, the ring, they call them rings of the tree of life, branches of the tree of life, whatever you want to call it, spheres of the tree of life, when it's Kabbalah, what happened? It begins at the principle noted by 10. Okay, now watch. Each principle, and these are principle aspects of your personality that relates to what? An aspect of your personality and a cosmic aspect of creation that must be discovered and what? Mastered. Hence, self-mastery. When you cover all 10 spheres from the Kabbalah, you reach self-mastery, so spiritual enlightenment. Same thing on an Anuyan tree of life. The same thing is going to happen. You're going to be enlightened with knowledge of self. You will know you and God are one. Now, when you master that, what happens? When that occurs, when you reach self-mastery occurs, the spiritual evolution of you, the aspirant, is now what? Promoted unto what? The ultimate destination, which is what? Spiritual enlightenment. We know it as Nihas, aka is reached. That's the goal for all right thinkers. That's the mission for me to get you to do just that. I got one more page, and I see I got a little bit of time left, but this is wrapping up this whole lesson. You see that boat right there? That's Ra traveling in his boat of 1,000,000 years, and those are all his boys. But they are his god and goddesses, or the Paute, but they all what are principles, concepts that once you understand them and master them, you will know thyself. So let's talk about it right quick. The figure I just showed you above is the boat of Ra with 9 divinities. Neteru, we call them, god and goddesses, and Ra in the form of what? Ra Harakti, which is he's in the hawk form, okay, with his crown. And he's in, again, hawk form, not human form, Ra Harakti. And the Per Imheru, the papyrus, it says what? The diagram of the Anuyan theology shows that the Paute, aka company of God and goddesses, or the creative principle, again, These are people, they're creative principles in which are embedded in what? The primordial God and goddesses of creation. Emanated from who? The supreme being, the Nebuchadnezzar, in form of what? Ra or Ratim, arose out of the what? The new. I keep telling you, the new is the abyss. You see that guy right there? That's new pushing up Ra's boat. The boat you see up top, that's the concept. He pushes them up. And you see the scarab with the death sun disk over there? That's the sunrise represented by Kepri. And for all day long, he pushes the sun across the sky symbolically. That's the scarab. He starts the new beginning, and you see him pushing the sun disk. That's really his dong. His dong with all his eggs inside of it. So he pushing shit across. But it states a good concept. No matter where you come from, you can arise out of it, like the lotus flower grows in the muck and the mire and the funk. But we know now that we come from what? Dung. We got to eat our way out of that to what? Raise our conscious level to become what? Good people, understanding. But somebody got to do that job, and we come from there. So, like George said, depending on the condition and position that you're in, is how good your funk is, how good you are at what? Doing what you do. You either survive or drown in your own. You got it. Moving on. Let me wrap this up. I see the clock running. All right, here we go. Now, when Ra came out the noon in the form of Ra Tim, he rose out the noon, which is the primeval waters, by the help of Nu, the hidden essence, and he began sailing the boat of 1,000,000 years. That's time. That's how it started, which included what? The company of gods and goddesses. You see below on his boat, emergent, the Neteru or the cosmic principles. Again, remember, cosmic principles of creation. Sailing signifies what? The beginning of motion or creation or the Big Bang. Motion implies what? That events occur in the realm of what? Time and space. Excuse me. Thus, the the phenomenal universe comes into existence, you ready? As a mass of moving essence that we call elements. We told you about the first five. Prior to this motion, there was no primeval state of being without any form and without existence where? In time or space. Why? Because the Neteru, the god and goddesses of the Paute, are beings without any form or without existence in time and space. And now you have the Paute, who consists of, you ready? Ra, Atem, that's in the first in the boat. Then you got Shu, and all their headgear tell you who they are. You got Tefnut, Geb, Nut, Asar, Aset, Set, and Nephthep. Again, excuse me. Shu, Tefnut, Geb, Nut, and Asar. Asar, Aset, Set, and Nephthep. Nephthys represents the principles. Again, Nephthep represents the principles on which creation manifests. If it is born, it's going to die. She represents mortality in humans. So she's always there at the funeral processions. Why? Looking after her people, even in death. That's why, the concept. So in the Kemetic tree of life, each sphere and its divinity, what? Represents a particular human or a transcendental philosophical issue. In the lower five spheres, okay, and the cosmic issues represent the upper five spheres that must be what? Experienced and mastered. You have to learn about nature in order to what? Progress. Once you, the aspirant, progresses to what? Self-mastery of the what? 10 spheres of the tree of life, then you can transcend all and enter into what? That realm, you ready? God conscious, or aka cosmic consciousness, where you are aware of who you are. In other words, the mystical awakening, the mystical experience, the born again, whatever you want to call it, but that's the experience you have once you gain self-mastery of the concepts of the tree of life, while they're all aspects of your personality. Watch this. Oneness with what? The absolute. I love that. the transcendental. That's the highest level. So along with the 10 spheres or realms, there is what? Another transcendental realm that may be referred to with what? The number, you ready? Infinity. We know it as reciprocity because infinity, one side gives, other side receives. The other side gives, other side receives. So it goes back and forth. It gives, it survives on its own merit. It continually like this forever, not like this. Okay? This is the Ouroboros going nowhere. This is infinity shown by breath in and breath out. Give and take. That's the lesson I'm trying to get you to understand. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope I made my point. Hope you understand a little more about God and God's concepts and principles of your personality, not real people. Literally, you don't have to believe it. You can know it, manifest it for yourself. That's knowing thyself. And right thinkers, in closing, you already know. May y'all all live to be 100 and me 100 minus a day. So I never know that right thinkers like you have passed away. I got more mileage for you. I'll be back. And the test here, I got to take a test. It says, right quick, this book has been laid out in the form of lessons. That's what I give you. The disseminated the metaphysical wisdom of the Anoian theology. I'm gonna take you about it, the tree of life, philosophy, and its disciplines. First thing you need to do, watch this. If you want to teach this philosophical concept, the first thing you need to proceed by first reading the book once completely all the way through. I've had this book for over 7 years. This is my third go round. Trust me, I know this book. And when you get the last lesson, you will receive specific instructions for what? Meditations, visualizations, chants, and breath work to what? Achieve the tree of life in your own personality. Last but not least, once you have read the entire book, I've done that, once and have studied the final lessons, I've done that, then you go back and what? You begin again with what? Lesson number 1, and you proceed in accordance with what? The instruction given to you at the end of each lesson. I just finished the lesson, so the test will be, what did you learn from that first chapter? We're going to move on, and I'll be back with some more lessons for you. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I appreciate you. Thanks again. Oh, I'll be back.